Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming tonight to the July 7th workshop meeting of Plymouth Township Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, an announcement for those who will be listening to this workshop meeting, that we will be having an executive session at the conclusion of this meeting to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, and potential litigation matters. We have no presentations tonight, so we will move right into some discussion. SEPTA funding, resolution of support. Matt, do you want to explain that, how it came about, and why we're considering this?
I'd be happy to. Thank you. So in the packet, you have two examples. I think everyone is quite aware of what's happening with the SEPTA funding crisis. And there's been a concerted effort amongst municipalities to pass resolutions and or send letters of support for SEPTA funding. And so a colleague, friend of mine, is leading one of these charges and helped me put together two examples, one of a support letter and one of a resolution that council could consider if you're so inclined, and considering at next week's council meeting. I don't know if you favor one versus the other, but I wanted to offer two different options for you. They pretty much say the same thing. One is a little more formal with a resolution, the other is a little more informal with a letter.
Is there any reason we couldn't or shouldn't do both? Because it seems like, the letter to other elected officials is very specifically making, our position known to them, and the resolution seems like that's a little more available within our municipality. I don't know that others are going to
No reasons.
say no to that.
No reason to say no to both. Yeah.
I like both.
Yeah, I have a question. I know we talk a lot about the SEPTA transportation within our township, and I was just wondering, should we mention anything about the regional rail system, even though we don't have a stop here? Up where we're talking about what Plymouth uses from SEPTA, many people from Plymouth, I know my entire career in Philadelphia, I took regional rail, and Nick is currently taking regional rail every day to work. So, even though you may be going to Conshohocken or Spring Mill or Ambler stations, we need it to commute. So I just thought about maybe including that in the letter and resolution.
We'll do. We'll update.
Because they're considering cutting a lot of regional rail lines, some of which will impact us.
A significant cut.
Significant, like elimination. So.
Yeah. Yep. I'd be happy to update both the letter and the resolution to include some regional rail details. Any other comments?
That was my only comment.
I like it, and I like doing both.
I like it. I was expecting one. I'm getting a twofer tonight. Mm-hmm. It's great.
I think the public will see the resolution much more than they would. But again, I would like letters going to our representatives, and then we just insert our local state senator and state representative in the letter.
Got it.
I don't know if there's room for this, but I know that our community is divided by pretty large highways and transit, funnels. And I was wondering if that could be added, as a whereas clause or in the letter as well, that our community continues to suffer from the impacts of that, and reducing public transit is one way of making that worse. I know that one of these mentions that somewhere.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point, because
Yeah.
that's most of our traffic, not most, but a really large percentage of traffic, as the chief has always told us, comes right through Plymouth to get onto these major roads to other points, because we're at such a crossroads.
It just seems these are more general, and I get that they're either drafts, like model drafts, and having something that's more specific to our community and what we, the impacts that we have.
It's good.
Reducing public transportation is going to increase an already stressed traffic system.
Great. Any other additions, edits? Well, if you think of any, next couple days, just send them my way.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
Matt. Okay, next, a sidewalk replacement installation working group. Are you taking the lead on that, or is that?
I'll take the lead on this to start. This is one of these projects that was started in my absence prior to my tenure. And so from what I've been listening to township staff and some council members, I believe we had started discussing a sidewalk replacement idea, plan, and it ended with a town hall regarding sidewalks. And unfortunately, it never ended in a solution to where we go. What do we do? And so I would encourage council to consider reinstituting, reactivating that working group. I'm calling it the Sidewalk Replacement Installation Working Group. I believe it only met once. I would like us to reconvene and help us develop a plan forward so my staff has a better idea of where to go, on how to enforce what the will of council would be. So I would like this working group. I was thinking that it would be township engineer, Jim, and Joel, me, and then Kristen and Aaron. Sounds good what I'm thinking about.
Sounds great, sounds great, sounds like.
That's as far as I've gotten.
Neighborhoods that really are impacted by the presence or lack of, or absence of sidewalks. So it sounds like two good wards to be represented on
Good.
that. All right, Kristen and Aaron, thank you for stepping up.
To be continued. Once I get my head around that one, I'll circulate some dates, times, locations, and we can take it from there.
Would there be any value in asking a resident or residents to also be part of a working group? I mean, I put that out collectively to anybody who has thought about it.
Well, we involved the public already with the town hall, and there were the pros and cons to requiring, not requiring, when to require sidewalks. I don't know, and they're so diametrically opposed. I don't know how you decide which highly divided side we should be choosing from, or both, or what that might do to a working group. That really needs to make headway, and also it's going to, my understanding is that after we've had the town hall and we've heard from residents, the pros and cons of having or not having sidewalks, was that we needed to look at our ordinance and give greater objective guidance to our codes department. And so we're almost at the ordinance stage, ordinance
Right,
drafting.
and wouldn't we be discussing that then at a council meeting? And wouldn't they have an opportunity to give their comments then? If we didn't already have the town hall, I think I would agree. But given we've already had the town hall, unless some neighborhood has dramatically changed in that time, which I don't think has happened.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah. I guess my only concern would be, I think folks at the town hall were pretty clear, like, in this area, we just don't want sidewalks.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that means that moving forward, like, that's the direction we're moving in. We're gonna recraft an ordinance to eliminate the need for sidewalks? I mean, since that's mostly what people shared.
Well, the ordinance currently requires them.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So based on input from that one town hall, it would seem like we're gonna go from here to over here.
But then there were
Sidewalks
those who were
are-
demanding sidewalks.
I don't,
I don't know. I feel like
Not at the town hall. I mean, at the town hall.
a very, very, very small portion.
Their neighborhood matters to them.
Gosh, you're like idea of guidelines? Or is it too early for
I
that?
think it's a little too early, I don't want
Okay.
to commit.
Okay.
I mean, maybe there's a time
I do-
going forward where we pull residents in to react to something we've created, if there's some ideas about what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
But I'm just not, I guess I'm not clear where we're headed with this group. If we have an ordinance that says this, and what the group clearly said is, we don't want that.
I think if you,
And I'm not sure that represents all residents in the township. It just happened to be the group of people who showed up
Who
and
showed up
felt,
to the meeting, yeah.
strongly about it that night.
you could always do a second town hall after the group comes up with a proposed change to the ordinance and probably an accompanying map of where sidewalks would be required and where they would not be required based on the set criteria that the group comes up with.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I like that.
I like that.
The idea that Kristen alluded to, Kristen and I were talking last week, I think it was. What's in my mind is to create some sort of ordinance that's a little more dynamic. We have technology available to us where we can map percentages of sidewalks based upon a certain criteria. You talk about 600 feet, 1,000 feet. Let's define that criteria. That can become a pretty easy geographic analysis of saying, okay, if this property is within 1,000 feet of such and such, yes, it has to have
A
sidewalks.
destination or another network of
And if
sidewalks.
60% of the properties within that parcel, like 600 feet of that parcel, have sidewalks, yes, you've got to install sidewalks. That's as far as I've gotten. I don't want to overcommit.
I like that. I mean, that's what we started talking about
Right.
way back when
Yes.
the group got together, before the town hall. It's exactly sort of what we were talking about, like some objective criteria rather than just intuitively, that neighborhood looks different from this one.
Because from what I've seen, and this is not unique to Plymouth, you have a blanket ordinance that establishes thou shalt install sidewalks. And thou shalt doesn't necessarily apply to all unique neighborhoods. Because sidewalks are dynamic at a neighborhood level. You walk through the valley, the sidewalks there, right? But then you go to other locations in the township, there's sidewalks. And so I would rather us put our energy into developing some sort of ordinance that is reflective of that neighborhood, not just a blanket, thou shalt install sidewalks.
For the neighborhoods that have them and the neighborhoods that don't, and the neighborhoods that don't and should, or don't, but really don't need to anyway. So,
I think that's what we learned from the
Yes.
the town hall, was that it was very well represented by the valley, and they do not want sidewalks.
Correct.
Yeah.
there was one resident who did.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't from the valley.
Correct.
Well, he's on the other side.
Yeah,
What do you
he was
call that,
somewhere
East
else.
Valley?
Yeah, I just remember he wasn't part of their community because he was saying that they
He
should
was
have
from the East
sidewalks, and they
Plymouth
asked,
Valley.
"Do you
Yeah.
live in the valley?" And he's like, "Well, no."
Yeah, he lives on the other side of the
Yes.
No, it sounds like a good plan.
Okay, that sounds great. So, you guys will get going. Thank you, Aaron, thank you, Kristen.
Look forward to it.
Okay. Then there will be someone will read the resolution to recognize Paul Krepto's service on the EAB.
I can do that one.
Want to do that one, Nick? Okay. I know he wrote a letter, but I don't know that I
I do
want
not
to do
believe he's
cutoffs.
planning on attending.
Oh, it could be sent to him then.
Yeah,
Right.
we can still do it.
And as we're going through this, Lynn will most likely will not be able to participate by phone. I mean, it just depends on, what the ship off the shores of Portugal are doing at the time. So we won't give anything to you
Yeah, I
tonight,
won't,
Lynn.
no, I won't.
Let's just say that you're not going to be here,
No.
nor should you be.
That's fine. I think that's the safest bet.
Okay. So I guess I'll do the minutes and departmental reports and bills to really dynamic, sexy part of our motions.
How about the Parks and Rec Professionals Week?
Whoops,
resolution?
did I skip that one?
I can do that one.
Oops, sorry. Parks and Recreation.
I can do it.
Oops. I put Nick's name beside both. I didn't realize it wasn't. I knew we were doing Parks and Recreation. I just wasn't sure where it was. All right. And then we need to have an acting manager for those times when Matt's not going to be available. That'll be rare, but still we need somebody, even during a vacation time. So. Did you want to talk about that, or just?
It's an administrative motion, something that the township charter states that thou shalt
must
have.
have.
Yep, and so
Okay, and.
crossing the Ts and dotting the Is.
All right.
Don't
and-
read into it. I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
No, and I didn't realize that the charter actually requires it, so, and we don't have it, so, and it's going to be our financial
Yes, that's my
officer,
recommendation.
Ellen, and how do you feel about that, Kellen? You raring to go?
Already.
Okay, you stepped in before to run some of our meetings for Karen, so thank you very much, Kellen, for willing to do that. Who would like to handle designation of a township acting manager in the absence of our manager?
I can do it.
All right, Kristen, thank you. All right, Mike, we have a motion to approve a mutual aid agreement, a formal agreement in writing with Whitpain Township. Did you want to say anything about that?
Yes,
Thanks.
we had last month to review it. This is something we're trying to just formalize with all the fire marshals in this, what we call region of the county, which the county is labeled as Region 6. We already have one that's been around for years between us, White Marsh, and Conshohocken. So now we're just trying to get formalized agreements now with some of the other communities around, Whitpain being one of them. I was doing my report later on, but I'll mention now is next month I'll probably bring in you guys that I'm going to initiate one for East Nardin and West Nardin because they're also in our region. Both have now said that they want to buy in to this. We've already been basically supporting and doing mutual aid with East Nardin already quite a bit. Same thing with Whitpain and everything else. It's just now we're formalizing it on paper.
Okay, the ones that we currently have with Conshohocken and White Marsh, are those in writing, or is it just?
They are in writing.
They are,
Yep.
okay. So, sounds like a great idea. Anyone have any?
The only one change I'll have is because this is a intermunicipal agreement, we would need to do this via resolution, and I can prepare that resolution for the agenda.
Okay, and have you looked over the language, Alex, of the
Yes.
mutual aid agreement? You're fine with the language,
Yes.
but we will need a resolution as well.
To adopt the mutual aid agreement.
Okay, so that will be to approve and resolution to adopt. Anyone want to take that one, or?
I can do it.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. You'll take both of those. Okay, the next one is the an ordinance that amends our code of ordinances regarding public safety, emergency operations, the roles that different individuals, well, holding those positions will fill. Have you had a chance, Alex, to look at the language of that, or?
Yes, we drafted it, talking to Matt.
Oh, okay. You're like a step ahead of us all. Thank you very much.
Matt and I talk frequently, along with Mike, Mike more so than me right now, and we've been, it's been a very good relationship in terms of clear in what he wants us to do, and we're trying to get everything turned around in a quick time frame.
Thank you. Always appreciate that. Did you want Matt to explain some of the quick, brief summary of the?
Yeah, this is another more of an administrative motion. It is taking the Office of the Fire Marshal out from under reporting to the Director of Public Safety. Also defining that the Director of Public Safety is also the Emergency Management Coordinator. Director of Public Safety is also the Chief of Police. So the hierarchy of Chief of Police is also the Director of Public Safety. Director of Public Safety is now also going to be the Emergency Management Coordinator.
I might be wrong on this map, but can you remind me, was there a point at which that there also has to be a formal appointment to that position?
Of Emergency Management Coordinator?
Yes. With
the state or
with
something?
With the state, yeah,
We
not.
made that recommendation,
Okay.
and I believe that was the last, I think it was a month ago, we did that. And then it goes towards to the governor for appointment,
Okay,
the
so-
recommendation.
So we can go ahead with this while that's in
Yes.
motion? Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's already with the governor, right? That's just waiting on the governor's
Should be.
signature, kind of whatever. All right, who wants to take on this one? Aaron, you're doing all the legal stuff?
I'll do
Why
it,
not? Okay,
And we can get you the bullet points of like what's being changed from the prior ordinance.
So, yeah. You don't want me to read the whole thing?
You can if you want to, it's up to you.
be brief, Counselor.
I don't think anybody else wants me to read it either.
All right, our next item will be to adopt a resolution that creates a new position within the police department, the position of administrative sergeant. This is something that council has to do to create a new position within the police department. And Chief, did you want to explain what that's going to be and what that position of administrative sergeant involves?
Sure, that position was meant to handle all the extra duties that have accumulated over the years that we've had to fan out to other people that really didn't have much to do with their jobs, and it's been taking away from them doing their job. So we call an administrative sergeant the house sergeant. It's a lot of housekeeping to be done, important stuff, but housekeeping. Making sure that they do due diligence on warrants. If you don't keep up with warrants and try to make sure that they get served and keep accountability, they're no longer in effect. So that's a big deal. Doing coding, UCR coding, is very time consuming. Takes 2 to 3 hours a day, and that was being taken away from somebody who was trying to do their other job. And besides many little things, probably the last big bulk of work that person would have to do is on Tuesdays when throughout the county all the arraignments are done. And since we have the second highest number in arraignments, that's considerable. We have a good 30 to 40 hearings just on that day alone. And he has to coordinate prisoner pickups and people getting to court and testifying and running the prisoners back and forth. It gets very complicated and time consuming, and it really log jams everybody. So that's essentially what it'll be. It'll be an in-house position taking care of all those clerical duties.
Okay. When we present this resolution, Chief, would you like to take on the obligation, the responsibility of explaining it for the public? Because I would hate to
Concise
make
in
a
place, yeah.
match of that.
Sure, I can do that.
Thanks very much, Chief. I mean, one of us will read the resolution and all, but I think the explanation needs to come from the police department directly. And people can ask any questions if they have them.
One of the things I think that was compelling to me, Chief, when you shared that with us, is that there's no impact to the budget in doing this. So even though it is the addition of an administrative position, administrative sergeant, there's no impact to the budget, which personally I think is important, and I would like people in the public to recognize that too, that you found a way to do this without an impact to the budget.
I guess what I can make clear is not only does it impact the budget, but by taking those clerical duties off of line officers, they can do more of the street work, so I didn't even have to ask to increase that manpower. So it actually has even more of an effect. It increased, but it also kept me from asking for more because I'm just realigning things. So I'll make all that clear also.
That's great. I would love for people to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
I
that's
agree.
really important. We're saving money for the future. as well as getting these really critical tasks completed, things that can have really bad repercussions if they don't get done. And I think they also do like all of the weapons updating checks and stuff like that to make sure that we're well
Inventory.
updated.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'll have a comprehensive but short
Okay,
explanation.
all right. Thank you, Chief, very much. Okay, does anyone particularly want that, or? I can do that. Kristen wants to do that? Okay. Next, we'll be doing a motion to approve Officer David Phillips to the rank of sergeant.
Can I say something with that?
Yes, sir.
Since that time, and I think I mentioned it in our other meeting, that first of all, he's going to be in Wyoming for this meeting, so that kind of threw a monkey wrench. But with retirement of another lieutenant, there were actually going to be 3 promotions. I was going to ask, could we just do all of them in August?
Okay, so we'll take that off?
If we could, there'd be 3, and then I guess in the executive session, I'd be discussing the replacement hire as well.
Right, personnel matters, yes. Okay, so we'll take that off and put it back on in August when there will be additional staff changes within the police department. Okay, and then, drum roll. And this change order is, motion to approve municipal change order to release money to the township, right?
Yep, it's credit.
It's a credit.
Credit.
So this is, don't get those very often. So I want to take that one. I've done many a one where we had to pay more money. So look at all these ways we're saving money today. Next, very important motion to approve release of $215,000 from Capital Equipment Fund to the Harmonville Fire Company. This will be for their building or for their truck, it's equipment.
It's related to the building.
Yeah, so it's for the Rescue 44 truck loan to pay it off, and that'll
Okay.
free up interest payments that they're gonna have to make in the future that they can now put towards the building.
Okay.
This is a capital equipment fund that the township manages, and we release anytime either Plymouth Fire has one and Harmonville has a capital equipment fund. Anytime they are looking to purchase a piece of apparatus, they'll usually tap into that fund. Harmonville did not the last time that they purchased this apparatus, so they're asking to use that to pay off their existing loan, free up those interest payments. So they can, since the project for the fire station came in much higher than expected.
Right, so it sounds like a good move. They're always looking at ways to make the best use of funds. I appreciate that from Harmonville. Anyone want to take the Harmonville motion?
I can do it.
Is that it first? Okay, thank you, Kristen. And then, the motion to adopt the traffic calming policy. So I guess this will be posted on the website before we do the motion so that the public can review it, right, Matt?
Yes.
And so they'll get to see everything that came out of the town hall and
It is
the ideas that were presented.
already on the website.
It's already on the website.
Yes.
Right. So this is really exciting. We're getting there. Who wants to do the motion to adopt the traffic calming policy? Yeah, thank you.
And I also, if I could,
Yes, sir.
draw your attention to the final version of the draft policy that was in the meeting packet. It's been expanded to include 2 different forms. I just wanted to say a thank you to Chief and Lynn for helping us develop these things and just be a good eyes and ears on how it's going to flow. We think it's ready for showtime, but you never know until you set it free and it goes into the wild. So these two forms still might need to be updated. We're looking for one, maybe two first guinea pigs to help us see how it works. And we might need to update that once it gets released.
Well, it's a policy, so it's not, I mean, if we find that there are things that are not working and could flow a different way, we can always alter it going forward. So this will be really great.
Yeah, and I would just say thanks to Matt as well. I know Matt and Chief did all the heavy lifting. I was able to come in at the 11th hour and provide some, little tweaks and feedback, but really they did the heavy lift on this.
Well, thanks all three of you for getting this done so quickly. I know there'll be a lot of people interested in it and wanting to take advantage of it, so I think it's.
I have a guinea pig for us, Matt. I know someone who's ready to start, so when I get back, we'll talk and we'll get the first one out into the wild.
Sounds good.
All right.
And John, Chief, he's the one that really did most of the work, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. And then the rest of our, so now we'll do departmental updates. Jim, you want to start? Do you have anything to update us with?
Basically, we're still working on Laserfish. I'm going to meet with Parks and Rec on Friday, start getting stuff together so we can budget their section for next year.
Right.
I know
We're working on it.
HR's working on it. They've had meetings with Laserfish to get her on it. We're still tweaking Tracer a little bit. Either this week or next week, I was promised, there's a few things I requested. They should be coming out and going into operation to make things a little bit easier. One is, if you ever went onto the portal, nobody could find out exactly what to do. So I had them break it up a little bit to, if it's zoning, you hit the zoning portion. If it's codes, you hit the codes portion. If it's building, you hit the buildings portion. So you don't have to go through everything at once. So it's still a work in progress. We'll get it perfected before I leave, hopefully.
What? What was that word? That L word?
Before I leave. I didn't say when.
Okay. Thank you.
And just, on the website, from our homepage, if you tap on the permit portal, what Jim's talking about is this new portal that contractors can use to apply for permits. And he's been putting a lot of time and effort into making that more streamlined, and appreciate that. So it's been paying dividends already.
That's awesome.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're getting great comments back from the contractors using it. And it's saving us money because everything's being done via email. And we're not spending postage sending stuff out.
And it's probably saving time for the contractors, which saves them money too.
Yes, it would roughly take us 5 minutes to put in a permit, maybe a little bit less. They can do it in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
It already puts in the information because they have filling processes where we're still have to go hunt for it. You start typing, it fills it in for them, so it's real nice.
Very nice.
We review everything. We send them a link back to come get back on and pay their fees, and it's working out real good.
It's great. And
I used it myself.
oh yeah, great. How'd that work out for you?
Good, because I got 2 screens. I had the portal on this one, and I had Tracer on this one, so I was able to watch everything.
Pretty cool.
That's really nice.
Very nice.
That's great, Jim.
This is a conundrum, though, because you said you get it done before you leave, so do we have to hope that it goes slowly getting it done so that you're here for a long time?
Once it
I'm like, what are we hoping for here?
we want it to get done, But that doesn't mean I'm leaving right away.
Okay.
I got Laserfish to worry about too.
Oh, there we
I
go.
want to get that going,
All right, thank you for clarifying, I feel better.
but I will be leaving eventually.
Okay. That's okay. Years down the road.
Probably next year sometime.
Okay.
Well, thanks very much, Jim, and I really appreciate you.
That's great.
Saving money for the township, making it easier on your staff, but also saving money for our contractors and saving their time, not having to come back and forth to the township building and.
Yeah. I mean, with the payment process, they can either do credit card, which is 3%, or they can do an e-check now, which is $1.50.
Oh, great.
So, you know, how long does it take a contractor to earn $1.50? It's worth their costs for them. And then also, that $1.50 rounds off the numbers, because it's always 50, 50, 50 on most of our standard application. Now it's 150, so it takes it to an even dollar.
Oh, good thinking. And counting
It
by
just happened.
six is always easy. That's great, thank you so much. How about you, Phil? Do you have anything to report for us tonight?
Well, we got beat up pretty good by the weather in June.
I know, movies and concerts.
Had some
Gosh.
craft, garage sale, that got beat up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're looking forward to a better July with better weather, and the forecast is good for this Wednesday. So, and camps are running, so we're running on all cylinders now. So it's very busy, which feels good. So some better weather. We started telling people about the pool closing. We did a soft burn with that.
Yes.
So now it's official, so we're telling people and answering lots of questions about that. Brick House is set on a good date, so we got that going. We got a note from the Flyers about their community caravan. They wanted to come before a movie, and that'll be July 30th. And then right after that, we have National Night Out. So we still have two big events, if we can get some good weather for them, so
Fingers crossed.
we're rolling along.
Yes, it's been a very rainy, thunderstorm summer, and
And heat.
obviously we can't do anything
Hit by
outside
the
when
heat
there's a
too.
thunderstorm.
So, we're looking forward to a good summer. We're doing well, so.
Okay. What's been the feedback from residents on the pool meeting to be closed for?
Well, since there was all those rumors for years, I think that kind of helped, so it wasn't a surprise.
Okay.
So we're happy about that. And I think it's going to start in September when it's actually not there. It's one thing to talk about it, so everybody has about 2 months to figure out what they're going to do. We'll keep them abreast the whole time. We're going to do monthly updates, pictures, social media, so everybody
Oh,
knows.
that's nice.
But it's an incredible investment and should keep us swimming for another 25 years. So it's positive. That's
I
how.
haven't seen any negative comments on Facebook. I mean, I've been getting the emails, text messages, and also following it on Facebook. And people seem really happy that it's going to be done. They're going to miss the pool.
Right.
But they're happy that this is happening, so
I mean,
I,
better than arriving one day and realizing it's closed,
yeah.
and have a catastrophic, something happen. We're like, well, we can't swim for a long, long
Why
time.
did nobody tell us?
Right.
Now they're learning. Are the swim instructors, swim class instructors, are they mentioning it to their classes
They
too?
are, yeah, they are.
'Cause those are the ones who really come on a
Especially,
regular
I mean,
basis.
it's like a religious experience. They come every day at the same time. It's like church, so, yeah, they'll be telling them. We're also going to do some things so they can at least get the social aspect of it. They'll either take some land classes or go walk in the park as the weather holds, so. We keep the bonds, it's important to see your friends, so. The other thing I should mention is our new app is up and running, and we've had to use it a lot because of the weather. So, you can get updates on just about everything we do. We use it for camp, we use it for the leagues, we use it for all our activities. And it's much easier to use than the old one, and it's free. So please get on, use our app. I know Kristen and I talked about it, she has it running, so, yeah.
I'll have to download that.
Yeah, it's brand new. It took us a couple months to get the kinks out, but it's working very well. Some cool pictures and stuff on there now, so.
Perfect.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Phil.
Welcome.
All right, Chief, anything anything additional to the matters we've already discussed that you'd like to update us all about?
Just letting you know that we've been working a lot with the Lincoln Center again this month. That's the company that our social service contract is through. So they put on de-escalation training right here for our officers. They're in the process of writing a grant for us, a $200,000 grant, which is part of the services. And they feel good about that we have a good opportunity to get that. Our co-responder had 49 contacts this month, which was great.
July?
Not
June.
June.
But even so, that's impressive, a lot.
And they've been extensive. I mean, these have been drawn out. I mean, Matt had mentioned one where, in coordination with codes and with various other people in the township, the fire marshal, they helped somebody on Pleasant Road. And we actually have a couple other instances here. Elder abuse, which is a fairly serious incident that we just had that she's going to be involved in. Someone else who tried to commit suicide by cop a few days ago. So she's really involved with a lot of these people that are in need of help, and they certainly appreciate it. And we had 75 details from that urban SDK as part of our traffic calming, so we're getting a lot of use out of that. Tony Costello, our highway sergeant, keeps putting out new sheets of new locations and new times as the information gets updated. So that's been great. And I'm working with Matt on, internally, we're working on this traffic calming initiative that we're hoping that once it's perfected to put it on our website, where once the policy is released, we can actually put the locations that either we or residents have said are a problem, and then we can let them know what we found, and then we can actually have them click in there, and they can actually see the information that we get from this urban SDK. So people can see it firsthand. They don't have to request it. They don't have to necessarily live in that area. So we're thinking that's going to be something that's well received. We just want to make sure that it's fine-tuned and we work out any issues before it gets out there.
That's really great. And we'll also save having to respond to 10 right-to-know requests where, it's just there, anyone can look. And even if you don't live in an area, you may have to drive to it frequently, or you have friends you visit there frequently, so what's happening traffic-wise can impact you even if it's not your house on that street. That's great.
I believe it was Phoenixville that found that, if you're
I came up
interested.
with it myself, but
What was that?
I was going to say I came up with it myself.
Now you spoiled it.
We borrowed it from Phoenixville. I was impressed. We look at other people's
Get it tomorrow.
sites. Yeah, they did a really nice job, so we figured, why reinvent the wheel? We'll steal their wheels.
If you just want to see it, see how it works, how it functions, what it looks like. It's just a good public-facing record of all of these applications instead of it becoming right-to-know requests per what Karen was alluding to.
Right, yeah, those are time-consuming.
I think actually Chief consulted for Phoenixville, and it was his recommendation.
Sure.
Uses-
So you let them do all the heavy lifting, and then you said, all right, you got my ideas, it's all in writing. Thank you.
I was actually surprised to see another agency after we've been talking about it. So if you are interested, it's Phoenixville, you go to the police department, and then on the left side, they have a long list. I think the last one says traffic calming, and then you'll see it. It's simple, but it's I think people would like it because it shows whatever their system is. It's not Urban SDK. It shows all those generated reports in addition to saying things like, this is a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Our study showed that people were going an average of 18 miles an hour, no further action here, as opposed to other places where it was more, and then they say what the action was. And regardless, you get to view all the sheets if you just push on it. So it's nice. I think it's exactly what people have been asking for.
Yeah, it's a great level
Yeah.
of transparency.
I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for finding it and adapting it for our own use. Okay, do we have anything from finance tonight, Helen?
Just a couple things. Last week, our annual audit was wrapped up. No findings. Everything was clean. We should have that on the website either by tomorrow or Wednesday. If you guys wanted to go take a look at it, read it. We also finished up another audit with our liquid fuels. So anytime you get money from the state, you get audited. For us, it's liquid fuels and pension. It's normally like every 2-3 years. We should be getting the draft from that coming in August. That should get finalized. So that'll be out in probably around August, maybe September. And I guess the last thing was, I think last time we talked about the RFP for new auditors. So that's coming about. We should be getting that out within probably a week or so.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just business as usual.
Okay. Anything you're able to share, Rebecca? Other than
Yeah, most things I
raise
can.
the feet, you know? What's that?
We're going to be doing some trainings coming up in the fall, some internal trainings that we've held because we haven't had space to do it. So we're going to be doing that and some wellness initiatives, and that's that.
I know personnel's not able to talk much in publicly, so what if you had something to say? I want you to be able to say it. All right, next, our fire marshal, Mike Matchevs, forget it, Mike.
Closer than most, that's good. As I mentioned earlier, next month I'll be bringing up probably 2 other municipalities want to get in mutual agreement with for the fire marshals or fire investigations. Just more of them are coming on board. I think we're going to be the ones initiating that one. Unlike Whitney came up first, we'll be initiating the other 2. And then the only other thing I would say is noteworthy is we participated with the fire companies, the police, ambulance, and others in our 4th of July parade. I think it was a great success, a lot of good feedback. So,
Yeah, it was really nice to have them come by. I was home with a sick dog on 4th of July, and so that was my only parade, and I appreciated it. I'm glad you guys did it.
the weather was great, so
Yeah,
everything worked out nice.
that's wonderful. Thanks, Mike. You have anything in
I have
addition?
just
for
a couple
us?
more, couple
Sure, Matt,
things,
go ahead.
just to give you an update on the 2 major capital improvement projects that council has recently awarded. The pool pump room, as Phil was talking about, the contracts have been fully executed, and we are on track for a September start. We had a delayed start due to the experience that we had with the remodel of this building. We wanted to bake in a couple of months' worth of time where the contractors had the ability to purchase their materials, and so we wouldn't be up against supply chain problems. So we're on track for that. Second thing is the Harmonville Station Number 2 rebuild. The contracts have been issued. They've been sent out to each of the 4 prime contractors. We are now awaiting the return for the signed version so we can fully execute them. Best case scenario would be middle of this month, which is, 2 weeks away, which if I was a betting man, I don't think that's going to happen, but that's the best case scenario. I believe you've all also received an invite for the groundbreaking ceremony for July 21st, Monday evening. Looking forward to that. It really is going to depend upon how quickly the contractors turn it around and submit their signed contracts back to us. Once I get them, Karen, I'm always hounding you to stop by to sign a contract. I will turn these things around usually the same day. So
Try to get here the same day.
the ball is in the contractor's court, and we're hoping to get them before the end of this month.
Awesome.
And there's a pre-construction meeting for that project on Thursday.
Thursday.
It's a Teams meeting at 3:00.
Okay. Anything else from engineering?
We have a little update on the 201 Plymouth Road project.
Oh, yes.
Hotel?
Hotel. So Tim has been engaging with Earth Engineering to provide a consultant to review their geotechnical report. And once that review is completed, there's going to be a follow-up meeting to discuss what remediation measures are going to be necessary to build that building.
This is the sinkhole property,
Yeah,
right?
if you it's the one on Plymouth Road next to the Westrum development. There's an active and massive sinkhole there. Last time I talked about it was 40 feet deep.
I
Last time
think this qualifies as a cavern now.
Yeah, it's incredibly deep and expanding and moving and,
Oh, it's expanding?
well, they never stay in one place, they keep going. So yeah, there'll be a report coming out soon from the applicant's engineer. Our geotech person, Earth Engineering, will review it at no cost to the township because he's coming on as a township consultant. Those fees will be transferred directly to the developer. And we'll see where we go from there.
That's
Earth
really the
Engineer-
biggest issue for that development, isn't
Earth
it?
Engineering did a couple other ones in the township. They did the Payone development, the apartments, Village Station,
Yes.
next to the CVA. There was a sinkhole there, and they put like a concrete curtain in there to separate the properties and to keep the sinkhole in one place. And then they filled it, and then that seems to have worked very well,
Yeah, well,
so.
there were a lot of sinkholes around there, because
Yes.
there's the one that closed Butler Pike for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And were they involved with the Park Apartments across the road?
No, they were not.
Someone should have been.
Somebody- Well, we learned from that,
Just
and
saying.
we learned from that, and now we have a consultant on board to,
Yes, exactly, because we need
we
it.
can't have the hotel fall down.
Just to confirm, does our geotech engineer, is this person reviewing their report or doing their own study?
They're reviewing their report.
So they're reviewing
So they're going to review the report, and they find that the report's invalid, then they're going to come up with comments and considerations about what has to be done.
Is there any point at which it makes sense to try and engage someone to do our own study?
I think then you take responsibility for the project if you do it that way.
It's on private property. It'd
On
be
private
different if it
property.
was on township property.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Point, thank you. Yeah, that's scary. I keep praying those sinkholes don't creep closer to my house. Because I live in the Cold Point area. Okay, solicitor, Alex, do you?
I do not have anything else to add.
Anybody else come up with anything they forgot to mention or want to say? Matt, do you have anything from Public Works, IT, or?
Len wasn't feeling well today, and Chris and Rick are out on vacation, and they did not leave anything for me to report back.
Okay, all right.
Can I assign?
Huh?
Assign.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. All right, we will have our citizen board vacancy announcements to announce.
I can do it.
Okay, Kristen, thank you. A list of the zoning hearings that are coming up.
Can do that one.
Okay, Aaron. Parks and Recreation upcoming events.
I can do that one.
Nick, thank you. And finally, will there be a Cunnytown update? Do we have some things to
Yeah.
update? Great. Who wants to do those?
I think it's me, because everybody's gone twice, right?
Okay,
So that would be this would be
all right,
my-
so Aaron's on the wheel for that one. Thank you. And we'll, at our regular meeting, have our audience participation, and I think that's it. Thank you all very much. The meeting is adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your evening.